Hello, everybody. I am super excited to be here. However, I can tell from how far you are sitting back that we don't have common energy. So come on up to the front. Come on up as close to the front as you can. Everybody that's out there, come on up as close as you can. I know it's awkward to resist me because I do this for a living. So if you feel like all the eyes are on you because you're not moving, you are right. But the good news is I'm about to teach you how it is that you can manipulate the energy in the room, very similar to how I am manipulating the energy in the room right now. Why is that useful? Yes, it's useful if you want to speak on a stage. Yes, it's useful if you've got to speak to your kids. Yes, it's useful for lots of other little things, but it's also supremely useful if you're trying to make a point, if you're trying to make a change, if you're trying to convince an investor, if you're trying to make a sale. And guess what everybody's always doing to you? They're always trying to make a sale. They're always trying to get your attention. They're always trying to manipulate your energy. The difference between what we do at CIA and what you see most of the time, day to day, is that CIA is trained to do it professionally. And that's what I'm here to share with you today. Do I have a way of flipping the slides, or do I have to point? Is there like a double move? Aha! Thank you. All right. So today we are here to talk about CIA tools to manipulate human energy. These are the 6 objectives that I want you to walk away with. You can boil them down into basically the big major questions. Who, what, when, how. Who, what, where, when, how is what I want to figure out. You have your own why. I'm not here to define that. But I will tell you how it all works, because human energy is based in science. It's based in science, and the science is remarkably simple. I've already met several people today, both in the expo hall and in the VIP breakfast, who understand this fundamentally. So now it's just about putting the pieces together so you understand how to execute the science you already know is true. So first, let's start with what is human energy? What are we talking about when we talk about human energy? Because some people think human energy is like woo, like fairies and dragons, and if that's you, I'm secretly judging you, but that's okay, you're judging me too. And other people think of science like truly measurable science, waves of energy, light waves, chemical energy, electrical energy, magnetic energy. Those are scientific terms of energy. That's what we are talking about when we talk about human energy, because the human body is a source of natural, recurring energy. Where does that energy come from? I am not a scientist, so don't for a second mistake me for a scientist. You can mistake me for a model, but don't mistake me for a scientist. CIA teaches us how to use a number of very complex, exclusive, modern skill sets. But what they do not teach us is the why behind how those things work. They don't teach us the science. If CIA taught us the science behind all the skills, we'd be in training forever. So instead, they teach us how to use the skill, and then they throw us out in the world, and we use the skill, we see that the skill works, and then we just do it again. We execute over and over again. If you've ever heard of the term knuckle dragger, if you've ever heard the term too dumb to quit, that's essentially a CIA officer. Lots of people take credit for being too dumb to quit. We also borrow that credit. But as a human being, we are a battery. You are a battery. I am a battery. Every person you meet who has got blood flowing through their body is a battery. That means we create chemical energy inside of our cells, and inside of our cells there's a little thing called the mitochondria, and that creates the energy. That's the source of the energy. Energy cannot be created or destroyed. It can only change form. So the mitochondria that's creating the energy inside this battery is transforming from something else. And when I build and use that energy, guess what? It's going somewhere. It's going somewhere. The energy is flowing somewhere. This simple fact that energy cannot be created or destroyed, it can only change forms, is what makes it a topic of government research. It's a topic of government research for two primary reasons through the lens of national security. One, for risk assessment. This is why we are constantly researching and developing new weapons, new tactics, new techniques, because if our opponents figure it out before we do, we have a strategic disadvantage. So whether you're looking for the Holy Grail because Hitler's looking for the Holy Grail, or whether you're looking for WMD in Iraq, it doesn't matter. We look for it because we do not want to lose that strategic advantage. And that risk assessment is worth the time and money to do the research. And the second reason that the CIA researches human energy is because of human performance. If you can have one CIA officer increase their performance 30%, then you need fewer CIA officers to do all the jobs. Fewer CIA officers mean more compartmentalization. More compartmentalization means more secure operations. You guys can see how this goes, right? Why spread a secret among 500 people when you could spread a secret among 300 people who perform at a higher level? You can see very quickly why the government would be focused in researching and developing studies and understanding and a deep knowledge of the idea of human energy. Lastly, energy, because it is based in science, is something that can be measured. It's something that can be optimized, and it's something that can be directed. You can't do that with like woohooey energy. You can't do that with fairies and dragons. You can't do that with hope. You can't do that with courage. You can't do that with confidence. But you can do it when you understand human energy. So where does this human energy come from? We understand that it's part of our body. We understand that it's a battery that's inside us. But where does it actually come from? The human body, in many ways, is a machine. And that machine is built of many different parts. And just like your clock or your laptop or your house or your car, every piece of the human body has different densities, has different molecular structures, has a different purpose, carries a different form of energy from point to point. When you're talking about mitochondria, the source of the chemical energy in your battery, the natural occurring source of human energy within your body, it's a very simple equation. Where the density, the concentration of mitochondria is the thickest, you have the most mitochondrial energy being generated. High densities of human energy. That means your heart, this muscle in your chest that is dense and strong and full of blood, full of mitochondria, is constantly creating energy. Your brain is constantly creating this energy. Your vital organs, these dense, blood-saturated organs, are constantly creating energy. If you're a strong man or a strong, thick-bodied female, where your muscles are the thickest, your mitochondrial densities are the thickest. Your sex organs that actually help you multiply, reproduce, and have a good time also have lots of energy. That was funny. That was funny. Sex, if you can't laugh at how good a time sex is, then we need to have a drink together. But all of these things create intense amounts of energy in you, in me, in every stranger you meet, in everybody that lives in your household, in the people that annoy you, in the people that hold the opportunities that you want access to. They're all constantly generating and transferring energy. If you understand now what I'm saying, that the human body generates the energy, it's always there, it can't be created or destroyed, it can only be moved, and if you've put it together, that the heart, the brain, the liver, stomach, these are all key organs in this center part of the body. Now you start to understand where the center point of all that energy lies. Where that center point of all that energy lies. Anybody who has watched a YouTube video about reading body language, anybody who's ever read a book about body language, TikTok, Instagram, you name it, right? There's all this complicated stuff. You got eye blink rate. You have people with large gesticulations. You have people who touch their face. I just touched my mic. You've got all this stuff that people try to talk about to complicate a very simple concept. The energy comes from here. When you project this part of your body forward, you are pushing the energy out. when people come to you and they push their energy on you, you are very likely to pull back in an effort to conserve your energy and deflect the energy coming off of them. So when you want to understand whether somebody's comfortable with you, all you have to do is look at this center part of their body. Are their shoulders rolling back and their arms opening up? That's a sign of being receptive to your energy. That's a sign of investing their energy into you. Or are they turning sideways to you? Or are they closing off? That's them protecting their energy from you and deflecting your energy away from them. Now, just because they're deflecting your energy doesn't mean that your energy is being wasted. It just means it's not being sent to them. So if you're trying to influence them, if you're trying to connect with them, if you're trying to persuade them, your efforts, the chemical energy created in your body is being lost. It's being misdirected. It's going somewhere else in the universe. So now I'm talking to you, and I'm focused on you, but you're turned sideways, so you're feeling really good because I'm sending you my vibes. And that's a waste of my effort. This is where I want to focus right now. And you know what this feels like if you've ever tried to hit on a girl, hit on a guy, if you've ever tried to talk to a client, and you just see over and over again that no matter how hard you try, how hard you lean in. Why do you lean in? Because your brain has all that mitochondrial energy, and so does your heart. So you lean in, and they lean out to deflect your energy around. Think of it like Captain America's shield, right? This stuff actually moves through the universe. It is measurable. I'm not telling you this for the first time. Many of you have already read this. But what I'm telling you is that when you understand that you can manipulate it and work with it, you can get the outcomes that you want. So why isn't this everywhere? Why isn't this idea of human energy something that's discussed in high school? Why isn't this something that's taught everywhere? Why don't more people talk about it in mainstream science? Why are we still watching TikTok videos saying that your blink rate and whether or not you have flushed cheeks is a tell for whether or not you're lying? Why doesn't it make the mainstream? Arguably, it is out there. Arguably. Because this study of human energy is formally known as bioenergetics. Bioenergetics. This mitochondrial energy that's generated and used within your cells is called bioenergetics. Bioenergetics is biochemistry by discipline, but kinesiology by application. You see how that makes things difficult? Academically, it falls under one category. Application-wise, it falls into a different category. So where does it really land? It's kind of like health insurance. It falls into one category for the transaction, but a different category to be used, which makes it not very useful. That's why you get very frustrated that you're paying for insurance that doesn't really work out, right? Because it is not easy to use. The same thing is true about bioenergetics. It's very difficult to create something that applies that the average person can leverage and use. That's why it's trained to operators and not really trained to those who are civilians, your average civilian. It's also got very limited pharmaceutical use. Bioenergetics and helping your mitochondria is great, except that it's very dependent. The results are very dependent on other parts of your body. So it is holistic. It uses your whole body. If you decide that you want to drink every day, there's no magic pill to help you generate and redirect your energy at a higher rate. So you lose the benefit right away. If you are already on the path of pursuing self-optimization, if you're already improving your cardiovascular health, you're already improving your respiratory health, if you're already improving your mental health, you are the perfect person to understand how to leverage this source of energy that's happening naturally inside your body to get you the results that you want. Not the results that you want from clearer skin and less acne. That's not what I'm talking about. What I'm saying is the results you want from other fucking people. Because people are a bigger pain in the ass than anything else. They're the ones that say no. They're the ones that have rights. They're the ones that have opinions. They're the ones that hold phase gates that give you or don't give you opportunities that you want. So if you can use your energy and their energy to get your outcome, that's what we're talking about with manipulating human energy. It's malleable. If you don't like the word manipulate, you won't like me, you might as well save yourself some time and go get a drink of water. So focusing on this idea of bioenergetics, why is it that human energy could be useful to you. We've talked about it in terms of generalities. You know that you could use it to win a deal. You can use it to talk down a competitor. You can use it to close a new client. The idea is that if you understand chemical energy, this human energy inside you, and you understand that it's transferable, then you start to understand what you've always experienced in your life. Who's met somebody that just is good to be around? Somebody who has a good vibe. I see a lot of hands, I see heads nodding. Like, I like that person. They make me feel calm. I like that person. They help lift me up when I feel down. I had my best friend from college. I went to the Air Force Academy in Colorado Springs. I was a horrible soldier, as you can probably tell. I went to the Air Force Academy in Colorado Springs. My best friend and I had to break up. Have anybody break up with their best friend before? It's awkward. You know what I'm talking about. We had to break up because every time I had a bad idea, he just made the idea worse. And every time he had a bad idea, I made the idea worse. We were like fire and gasoline back and forth all the time, and it wasn't productive. And it was like this embarrassing, humbling drive in his 1998 pickup truck, his Tacoma from Pueblo, Colorado to Colorado Springs. One afternoon, we were like, we're not really good for each other. Yeah, I know. But I don't want to quit you. It was like Brokeback Mountain without all the touching. But you know what it's like to be around people who have human energy, and that human energy that lights you up, and that human energy that brings you down, that human energy that's so soul-sucking that they take it from you and you never get to use it. And those people who, no matter how you feel, they just pour it onto you and they lift you up. That commanding presence, that confident presence, that's all human energy. Science and CIA have proven to me and shown me that human energy can be collected, can be directed, can be amplified, can be magnified, can be transformed, and it can even be stored. You can meet a person in the morning, store their energy, come back to it in the afternoon, and let it loose. This is the value of understanding this concept and understanding that when you engage with another human being, which you're doing with me right now, you have a chance to capitalize on their energy. How many of you, 15 minutes ago, I've been talking for 18 minutes, I think. How many of you are more awake now than you were 18 minutes ago? Raise your hand. You're welcome. You're welcome. It's going to happen all day, especially if you continue to find me. Now, CIA manipulates this energy. We do it for national security purposes. We do it unabashedly. We don't apologize. We don't make excuses. We don't justify. We don't really care what Americans think, and that pisses Americans off. But we do it because it's the right thing to do. There are 300 million Americans, 330. There are billions of people in the world. We are going to take from them, and we are going to give it to you. That is the way it is, and that's the way it's always going to be. CIA manipulates energy because we have identified that there are three primary forms of energy. If you take notes now. If you take pictures now. This is the point in this 30-minute conversation where your life changes forever. There are three types of energy: collective energy, creative energy, connected energy. Three forms of energy constantly in fluctuation inside your body, mind, and soul. They flow by season of life. They flow through the day. They flow through your mood, through your menstrual cycle, through your sleep cycle. They are always shifting and changing. And at any point in your life, you will predominantly spend more time in one of these energy phases. And over time, that season will end, and you will move into another season of a new kind of energy. Who remembers being a kid and being really excited about something creative? Books, art, music, poetry. You remember it. You remember it. Even you bastards not raising your hand. You remember it. Thank you. Ah, but you probably had gone through other cycles before you came back to it. Beautiful answer. You remember what creative energy feels like. Where are my folks who are in their gray hair years and reconnecting with that energy again? Oh yeah, I see that hand in the back, girl. You know what it feels like to come back to it again. It brings you life. It brings you joy. It feels good. You can paint, you can record, you can talk, you can write all day. And when you're done, you're jazzed. Who's in that phase where writing all day makes you feel tired as shit? Because you're writing somebody else's papers. I see your hands. You're writing somebody else's reports. You're writing somebody else's book. That is when your creative phase is not the primary phase. That's creative energy. Where are my folks who love, right now in your life, love being with just 2 or 3 other people? Woo, yeah. Welcome to connected energy. I just want to spend all my time with you. I could spend all day with you. I could be around you all the time and then break off and go make a gourmet dinner to bring it right back to you. That is connected energy. That's what we feel when we fall in love. That's what we feel when we have our children. That's what we feel when we recognize how hard our parents had to work to raise us. That's a humbling moment right there, right? But you've probably also, especially those of you who are married, know what it's like to do anything for the first 2 or 3 years. And then like year 12 of marriage, you're like, get your own fucking coffee. In fact, grab me a cup of coffee while you're at it. Right? You've rolled out of that connected energy phase. You've rolled into something else. Even in the course of a day, even in the course of an hour, you can feel these shifts and changes like ocean tides, right? They will have huge swells sometimes. They will have small swells other times, but they're always there in these 3 colors, these 3 shades of energy. When you have that connected energy, it's super powerful when you're with somebody else who's in the same phase. When you have that creative energy, it's magnified, amplified when you're with somebody else in the same phase. You see this? You see how it could work? I love my wife loves me, we have no kids, you put us in the same bedroom for the weekend and we have sex 4 times, like 11 years ago. Now you put us in the same bedroom and she's got anxiety and I'm worried about the business and we're just waiting until somebody opens the door and lets us out. Different phases, different times, different connections. The third energy is known as collective energy. Here's a cheat code. You all came here seeking collective energy. You have a shared interest. You have a common goal. You know that there's an us versus them. And you're looking for your us. And that's a big part of why you came here today. That collective energy is something that you're looking for. How many of you would say that in your study and research of self-optimization, you are like peaking right now? You are like on top of the world. This is what I want to consume all day, every day. Who's there? I see hands. Were you here 5 years ago? Do you think you'll be here still 5 years from now? It comes and it goes. It comes and it goes, right? You're in a phase where you love this energy now. So when you connect with other people like you, you're jazzed. All day we'll talk about this. All day we'll compare notes. All day we'll get deep into the science. For all those people who didn't raise your hand, you know that this isn't bringing you pure energy. There's some effort that goes into it. It's awkward to be around strangers. It's hard to walk through an expo hall. You don't really know what to say or raise your hand to. You know that guy on stage told you to move to the front, but you resisted. You know how that feels. That's collective energy. When somebody is fully invested in collective energy, they will do anything, even drink cyanide-laced Kool-Aid. Because the collective energy pool is so strong. Where are my folks who will root for their college, university, no matter how bad they are? Collective energy. Where's my folks who choose their college because they wanted to go there because of something else? I've just got a lady who pointed at her husband. Right? We see this. This happens all the time, right? If you haven't met Gus, Gus is a good friend of mine. Gus, raise your hand. Love on this man, Navy SEAL Team 6, retired a handful of months ago. Thank you for your service, Gus. That man would die for anybody on his team. That man would die for anybody on his team. That is collective energy. And guess what anybody on his team would do for him? How much would we all kill for a chance to have a connection like that? When you understand those three types of energy, I'm still CIA, I gotta tell you the truth. When you understand those three kinds of energy, you can use them for whatever objective you are trying to achieve. You can literally increase your own energy by surrounding yourself with people in the same phase as you. Connected energy people when you're in your connected phase, creative energy people when you're in creative phase, and now all of a sudden you can get rid of caffeine, you can reduce your number of sleep hours, you can watch as your stress levels drop just by being around the right people at the right phase in your cycle and recognizing, I'm in a creative energy space right now, I need to go create with people who create. I'm in a connected energy phase, I need to avoid all the assholes that I don't want to connect with and be around the people that I do want to connect with. Yes, that might mean you have to leave your spouse or your children at home to go to your club. That's okay. When you understand these three types of energy, you can learn how to transfer that energy. You can transfer that energy to others if you want to lift someone up, if you're trying to make someone feel better, trying to get someone through a hard time, or if you are having a hard time and you just need to feed. You need to feed off of them. Work is hard, life is hard, marriage is hard, something is hard. So you go and you feed off of the energy of the people around you. That is a survival requirement. You have to do it sometimes. Don't feel bad about it because you never know when they might be feeding off of you. Only difference is they're not aware that that's what they're doing. You are intentionally aware. Which one is more optimal? Doing it intentionally. Which one is suboptimal? Doing it accidentally. So don't feel guilty when you go to church because you need to lift me up. Don't feel guilty when you go to a local coffee shop on an open mic night because you need to be around a bunch of creative hippies and beatniks. Just go have fun, suck up what you need to suck up, and get back on task. There's not a single thing wrong with that, right? We've all had friends with benefits. Guess what you're doing? Guess what they're doing? And we've done it naturally. Let's just get a little bit more optimized at it. And when you learn how to identify the energy cues in other people, you'll know exactly where they are in their energy cycle at any given time. The cues that show that they're looking for connection, the cues that show that they're seeking creativity, the cues that show that they're looking to be part of something bigger or a collective. You'll see their cues, you'll match their cues, you'll choose, I'm going to be around you but not you. You'll be able to consider and direct yourself in the most effective way possible. If you want to learn more about how this energy process works, this is what my company does. We teach CIA education that breaks barriers in your workplace, breaks barriers with your business, breaks barriers with your health, breaks barriers in relationships. Our top programs are all put together in something we call the yellow brick road. Follow the yellow brick road to Oz and look behind the fucking curtain. This QR code will take you to the yellow brick road. And we are discounting the yellow brick road a huge amount because I want you to test me. I want you to prove me wrong. I want you to show me that you're the exception to the rule. Because when you're wrong and I'm right, we are part of a collective, and our collective energy will rise. And you can use that, transfer that, and adjust that, store that energy, and turn it into your own creative endeavors, turn it into your own collective endeavors, turn it into your own connective endeavors. That's my wish for everyone. CIA teaches us incredible things. 98% of what CIA does, we can talk about. 2% of what CIA does, we'll never be able to disclose. So what I am here to do is share with you the 98% and tell you straight to your face, you'll never get the 2%, but you don't need it because we can tell you how we do what we do. We just can't tell you what we do. Thank you very much, folks, for having me.